Hey, this is Elizabeth with Mad for Macrame, and today we're going to crochet a tree basket using a 4-inch wooden base, some scissors, a tapestry needle, and two different sizes in crochet hooks, a 7mm and a 9mm. For cord today, I'm using Bobbini's 5mm braided in off-white for the main part of the basket, and then for the tree, I'm using golden wine red. To begin, you want to leave your tail about 8 inches long. We're going to use it to close a couple rounds. Create a loop, and then on your wooden base, using your smaller crochet hook, insert your hook in any hole. Add that loop on your hook and then pull it through. For the first round, we're going to make slip stitches around the base. To make a slip stitch, you want to insert your hook in the next hole, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then pull that loop through the one that's already on your hook. So you insert your hook, pull up a loop, and then pull it through the one on your hook. You'll do this all the way around the base. I'll meet you back for the last one. On the last hole of the base, we still need to make a slip stitch, but change to using your tail. We're going to finish this round with the tail. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, and then pull that tail through the loop that's on your hook, continuing to pull it all the way through. To close this round, we need to make an invisible close or a fake stitch. So under the first stitch on that last round, you want to insert your hook from the back side to the front and then pull the tail through. On the last stitch that we created, you want the tail going through the center of that stitch. So flip your base over and insert your hook from the back side into the hole, and that'll bring it through the center of that last stitch and pull the tail through. For round 2, you want to find where the tail is sticking out. In that hole, that's where you want to begin. So on the front side, insert your hook behind the slip stitch directly into the hole. Grab your working cord, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then chain 1. For this round, we're going to make some increases to give our basket a nice bow-like shape. We're going to increase on every other hole. Starting with the first stitch, we're going to place our first increase. To do that, we're going to make a single crochet. So insert your hook in the hole and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through both. Now we need to go back in that same hole and place a second single crochet. So insert your hook here and then make your second single crochet by pulling up a loop, then yarn over and pull through both. Here's our first increase. Now on the next hole, we're going to make 1 single crochet. Alternating, we need to make 2 in the next. So going back in that same hole, making the second. And you'll do this for the rest of the round. I'll meet you back on the last hole and show you how to finish it up. On this last hole, you'll end on an increase. So go ahead and make your first single crochet. And then on your second single crochet, go ahead and pull up a loop using your working cord. But before you yarn over and finish the stitch, switch to using your tail. We're going to close this round with the tail like before. So yarn over and pull through, and then pull that tail all the way through. To close the round, underneath the first stitch that we created, the top V, insert your hook from back to front, and then pull the tail through. Now under the last stitch we created on round 2, you want the tail to go through the center of that stitch. So flip your base over, and on the back side, you want to insert your hook underneath these 2 back loops. This will place your hook in the center of that last stitch. Now pull the tail through, and that'll close the round. For round 3, we're going to begin making waistcoat stitches. So we're going to insert our hook in these side V's. Instead of underneath the top V's that run around the edge, we're going to use the side V's and insert our hook through the center of each one. To begin, find the V where the tail is sticking out on the back side. So here, and check the back, make sure that's where your tail is. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then chain 1. Now for the waistcoat stitches. You're going to insert your hook in these side V's and make single crochets. So for the next V, you'll see these 2 posts sticking out of the top, and they come together giving it that V shape. We're going to insert our hook through the center of that V and make a single crochet. And you'll do that for each V around the base. Go ahead and add your tail on top of your hook. That way you can stitch around it and hide it as you work. So pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both, just like the last round. Here's the next V. And you see it's through the center of that stitch. The tail is on top. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through both. I'm going to finish up this round, and I'll meet you back for the next. After you're finished making round 3, you can see that the sides want to turn up. This is actually backwards, so you want to push those sides down. The slip stitches should be on the bottom of the basket. For round 4, you want to go ahead and switch to your larger hook. So pull your hook out, and I'm going to use a 9mm. You can also use an 8 or a 10, whatever you're comfortable with. To join each round for the rest of the basket, we're going to make the invisible join. So underneath this top stitch, the very first one on the last round, pull that loop through. Now directly below the loop and to the right, that's where you want to insert your hook. We're still using those side V's, and I know it's kind of hard to see, but from the loop, if you go down and 1 stitch to the right, you'll see the center of that V. That's where you want to place your hook. After you insert your hook, check the inside and make sure that it's splitting those 2 posts and it's in the center of that stitch. Now yarn over and pull up a loop. I like to stretch this loop up, then add that second loop on your hook. Now yarn over and pull through both. Now for this round, we're going to start changing colors. You need to make 14 waistcoat stitches, but on the 14th stitch, you're going to switch to your tree color. So the waistcoat stitches are just like we did on the previous round. You're going to insert your hook through the center of the V, and then make a single crochet. This is number 1. We need to make 13 more. On stitch 14, we need to change our color. So go ahead and pull up a loop. But before you yarn over, this is where you want to add in that new color. Make a small loop with your new color. And then we're actually going to yarn over with this piece. So add that loop on your hook and pull it through the 2 loops that are already on your hook, finishing the stitch. For stitch 15, we need that to be in the red color. But after that, we're going to switch right back to white because the trunk of the tree is only 1 stitch. So go ahead and pull up a loop for your next waistcoat stitch. This is stitch 15. Make sure you're stitching around your tails. And before you yarn over, go back to the white. Now continue making waistcoat stitches in the white color for the rest of the round. After making a couple more waistcoat stitches, you can go ahead and clip off the excess cord in the red color. We're just going to add it back in for the next round. For round 5, we're going to begin with the invisible join, just like before. To get to the next color change, we need to make 11 waistcoat stitches, and we're going to change on that 11th stitch. On stitch 11, go ahead and pull up a loop using your white, and then we're going to change colors. So grab the red and create a loop. Add that loop to the end of your hook, and then pull it through. For the next 7 stitches, we're going to use this red color, and we're going to change back on that 7th V. So this is stitch 12, and we'll change back on 18. Okay, on stitch 18, I'm going to pull up a loop with my red, and then I'm going to yarn over with the white. This will give us 7 red V's at the bottom of our tree. Now we just finish up the rest of this round using the white. For round 6, we're going to complete 1 round using the white color. So we have our red and then white, red, white, it alternates. First you use that invisible join, and then just make waistcoat stitches using the white for the rest of the round. Each round has 30 stitches. For round 7, we start making the invisible join, and then we need to make 12 waistcoat stitches and change color on that 12th stitch. For stitch 12, go ahead and pull up a loop in the white, grab your red, make a loop, and then add that loop to the end of your hook and pull it through. We need 5 waistcoat stitches in this white color, and we're going to change back on that 5th stitch. On stitch 17, I need to change back to my white. So pulling up a loop in the red and then yarning over with the white. I'm going to finish up this round using the white, and then for round 8, I'm going to continue making another solid round in the white color. I'll meet you back for round 9. I just finished up round 8, and for round 9, we want to make 3 waistcoat stitches in the red color. First, we need to make the invisible join, and then we're going to make 13 waistcoat stitches, and on the 13th stitch, we're going to change back to our red. After switching to red, we need to make 3 waistcoat stitches in this red color. So for stitches 14, 15, and 16, we're going to use the red, but on 16, we're going to switch back to white. We're going to finish up the round using the white, and then for round 10, I'm going to make a complete round using the white color, starting off with that invisible join and then making waistcoat stitches all the way around, just like before. For round 11, I need to start off by joining the round, making that invisible join, and then we need one waistcoat stitch in our red color right in the center, just like the trunk of the tree. So I'm going to make 14 waistcoat stitches and then change color on that 14th stitch to red. After pulling up a loop in white, add your red to your hook and pull it through. Because we only need one stitch in this red color, for stitch 15 we're going to pull up a loop in red and then immediately switch back to white so we can finish the round. So yarn over using the white. I'm going to finish up this round making my waistcoat stitches in white, and then for round 12 I'm going to make another full round of waistcoat stitches only in the white color. I'll meet you back and show you how it turns out. I just finished round 12 and now we're finished with our basket, or almost finished. You can go ahead and clip your cord and then pull your hook out and pull that cord all the way through. Use your tapestry needle and make an invisible close. So under the first stitch of that previous round, insert your needle and pull that cord through from the outside to the inside. And then on the last stitch of that round, insert your needle right through the center of that stitch, pulling the cord to the inside of the basket. Make any adjustments you need, and then weave in the end and cut off the excess cord. If you want to add something a little extra around the top of the basket, this is a fun, easy way to add a little texture. Take a piece of cord and use your tapestry needle, and then underneath the top V's, or those top stitches, just weave the cord around in the same direction. So I'm just twisting the cord around those top stitches. This gives the basket a little twisted pattern on top. When finished, just weave in the ends and cut off the excess cord. I love how this turned out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you next time. Bye.